Yeah. Uh, can you see my screens? Can you please confirm? Sai Kiran sir, are you there?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Visible. Okay, thank you. So welcome to the second day first session. So here I will be discussing about three concepts. What is this competition, how the competition is governing our industry, and then what is the role of lean manufacturing, and what is the role of Kaizen, and how they are different, and then the sustainability, how we can achieve the sustainability with these concepts. So I hope that at the end of this lecture you would able to you will able to explain Kaizen, lean, and the competitions as well as the sustainability in more better way. So to start with, we all know that to sustain in current dynamic marketplace, companies have to compete not only in the domestic market but also at the international market. So we know that nowadays the competition has increased, and we need to compete at international market. And yesterday, as Dr. Gupta discussed, that it is important nowadays to sustain ourselves, or manufacturing industry need to sustain themselves, and they need to have their backup, because we cannot depend upon the international supply. So because of this COVID situation, now the competition has increased comparatively more, because we need to identify the local supplier as well. We cannot depend upon the existing supplier. Okay, they may be from outside or like that. So we need the organization need to make their connection at local market also. So the this competition is tangible as well as intangible resources. Intangible resources with respect to skills, with respect to the people who are working in organizations. So generally, after implementing, we can say these our lean technology. This industry in India, Hero, Tata Motors, Maruti, they all use lean technology, and they have implemented it, and they have received reward from that, and that is why they are preferring that other industries should also follow lean manufacturing. So lean is nothing but a process of continuous improvement. So it is more than leadership, it is more than training, it is more than we
Sir,
can say just
sir,
who is this?
sir, unable to see the screen, sir. Once again, reshare it, sir.
Reshare.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, maybe internet problem. New share. Or
Now it's okay, sir.
yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, thank
Sir,
you.
keep in presentation mode, sir.
Presentation mode, yes. Okay. Okay. Is it visible now?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. So as I discussing that lean is more than a leadership strategy, and it is more than just keeping in balance in an organization. So we will discuss how it is more than that. And as yesterday also Dr. Gupta discussed how that our industrial evaluations take place. So I will discuss how the lean came into picture, how the lean philosophy came into a picture. So we all know that it started from the Japan, and if we see the scenario in mid 1980, so you can see that the table shows the average engineering hour per car in Japanese production, it was 1.7, but in American production system it was 3.1. And after that, the development time, so the development time in Japanese industry was 46.2, and in American it was 60.4. Then the employee in the project team, that you can see the difference, that in employee in the project team it was 485, and in American it was 903. So supplier share engineering. So here the difference came, like how the Japanese industries were different from the American industry, was that supplier share in engineering, that is means 51%, and this side it is 14%. So it says that Japanese people start looking after their supplier. So from where the material is coming, so what is the property of material, and whether their supplier were following the quality process or not, they start looking after that thing. So that is, we can say, we can also relate this from the sustainability point of view, that they were following the supplier from the beginning, from where their raw material were coming, so they start looking after that. And after that, you can say the ratio of delayed project, in case of Japanese it was 1 in 6, and whereas in case of America it was 1 in 2. So because Japanese people were following after their supplier, they were well known about their supplier, and they invite their supplier for the discussion on table, and then they came up that if there is anything that they can help their supplier, they provide them training. They made their supplier, we can say, familiar with their process, so that is why their supplier could able to perform well. So one point is that we organization, if they want to follow the lean philosophy, then they want to follow, they want to adapt to the Japanese culture, because lean and Kaizen, they are Japanese culture. So if we want to implement lean and Kaizen in India, so we need to understand the what is Japanese culture and how they see lean. So they become aware of their supplier. The first point which I would like to emphasize here is that. And the second, if we see the change in productivity, so in case of like 1989, the data says that Japan is in at 6.8 and it is 25.1. So here the important point that I would like to emphasize is the suggestion and the training hours. You see that the last point, the training hour in case of uh, Japanese company was 380 hours, whereas in case of America it was 46. So they put more emphasis on the training and workforce team. You can see that in case of Japanese it was 69.3, whereas in case of America it is 17.3. So the difference is in teamwork, the difference is in understanding their employee, the difference is in understanding their supplier. So this is how we can say the lean philosophy developed. Like once the America see that if Japan can do, then why cannot we? So after that they start following the Japanese philosophy. So, and the philosophy is relevant to employee, philosophy is relevant to their stakeholder, whether they are customer, whether they are their supplier, and philosophy is relevant to teamwork, and philosophy is relevant to suggestion. You can see the difference in suggestion per employee. In case of Japanese, the suggestion per employee is 61.6. So we can see the 762 suggestion per employee, whereas in case of American it was 0.4 only. So the suggestion came from employee involvement, suggestion came from supplier involvement, suggestion came from giving importance to employee and providing them training on the production floor. So this is how their culture. So from that culture, this lean philosophy evolved. So moving forward, if we are discussing about quality engineering, lean manufacturing, so we cannot forget the contribution of quality gurus. So I will just you can say put some light on the contribution of quality gurus in quality, and I will put emphasis on the point which contribute towards lean manufacturing and sustainability point of view. So we all know that the first uh, Deming give the quality circle. So Deming quality circle is there. Before that, he gave the 14 principle of 14 principle of quality. So the important from the, you can say, sustainability point of view is, first of all we can say that adapt to new philosophy. So if new philosophy is coming, because as we are discussing about the competition, if competition is coming in market, then industry need to change their way of working. They need to adjust themselves with respect to the competition. So if they need to adjust, they need to adjust their human resource also. The human resource means employee. So they need to adjust the working way of working in their employee. So that is the one of the most difficult tasks, if I say, because adapting changing culture is the most difficult task, and if culture change, then everything will change automatically. So the first that is applicable to our sustainability is the adoption of new philosophy. Okay, and then inspection, and after that the most important is the dry out the fear. So there should be no fear in employee to, and the fear here is relevant to experimentation and giving suggestion. And then supervisor must help the people. So generally there is like, if we discuss in India, if Indian culture, supervisor means something who look after your work, something who inspect your work. But in case of Japanese culture, supervisor must help people, so his image should be sportive instead of kind of people who inspect your work. Then eliminate boundaries. There should be no boundary between the top management, or the, we can say, the lower management or the middle management, and the worker who are working on the shop floor. So eliminating boundary is also very important and is a part of Japanese culture. And the next is eliminate the use of slogan. Only slogan cannot change, create change. Okay, human can change. So for that we need to make amendment in the way how human works, how they behave in workplace, whether they feel difference in the top management, middle management. We need to eliminate those boundary. Okay, and let the people proud of their work. So how they can be proud of their work? If we circulate their idea into market, idea into organization. If suppose at one shop floor I could able to make some change and that is fruitful for my industry, then the idea should be circulate among the other department also, so that they would get to know that this idea has been implemented and that person is this. So if this culture is there, then employee feel proud of themselves. And then encourage self improvement. So self improvement training base, if any employee feel that they need any training, then they should be ready to provide. And uh, commit to ever improving quality. So the commitment should be there as continuous improvement and Kaizen. That is the philosophy of Japanese people. So these points should be incorporated in the culture. Then only we could able to come up with the change. So the next important point given by the Deming is plan, do, check, and act. So it is even applicable in everyday life, whether we do study, whether we do any project. So plan, do, check, and act. So in Kaizen also this is very helpful, and I will discuss this with the help of an case study also. So at the end of this lecture we will discuss some case studies. So you will see that how plan, do, check, and act help to come up with good ideas. So moving next, the Juran. So how we can forget the contribution of Juran? That fitness of use. He gave the definition of quality, that fitness for use, and a quality control handbook the given by the Juran is very helpful for industrialist. And moving forward, the Juran tribology. So we have all seen that there are two parts. That one is the production planning, another way is the production control. First of all, we should plan properly, and after that in the process of production control we need to apply our production planning and control tools. So mostly that the statical process control tool, X bar chart and R chart, so that we could able to identify the peak on that particular process. So once the peak is identified, then we need to select the parameters that how we can control that particular peak, so that the peak doesn't come and the process will in control. So after that the quality zone come, and then after once we maintain the quality, then we set new standards. So from whatever the quality zone, whatever the lesson we learned from the quality zone, we need to once again send them to the planning, so that we need not to face the spike again in our process. So this is how our we can say Juran tribology work. And finally we have our, we can say, stable process. So on Juran tribology I have done two case study, actually two case studies, and the results are also published in emerging business excellence in Emerald, and one is in Springer. So if you go through my profile, then you would find that how the case study helped the industry to come up from the high rejection rate. So it is very helpful for operation management. So moving forward, then cross buy. So conformance to requirement, quality is free, and zero defect. So all these words are, we can say, very familiar in our industrial when we enter into industry. They are really we can say helpful when we speak about these words. Like quality is free. The why quality is free? Because the cost of defect product is very high compared to the investment if we put into quality. So the quality is free, quality doesn't cost. Sometimes we have philosophy that if we want to improve the quality, we need to invest in our organization, but it is not true. Quality means we are adhering to our standard, we are trying to improve our system with optimum level of investment, but if we see the investment come from the, we can say the improvement came from the quality that is very high, so quality is free. And then he motivated for the zero defect concept. And then the 14% or 14 steps of quality management is also given by the Crosby. So let it be open. And then next, let me discuss the next. And then we know that the total quality control and hidden plant and the quality cost. So the hidden cost, we all know that in when we work on the system, then hidden costs are there. So these are the 14 steps of cross-buy. If you can see on my screen, that make it clear that the management is committed to quality. So this is given by the Crosby. And just we can say the quality is important. Determine the current and potential quality problem, whatever the problem lie inside your organization, then move towards the zero defect only. So everything encourage your employee. So if we see that these philosophies are relevant to the philosophy given by the point given by Deming also. So they all promote the employee involvement as well as give contribution and reward to the employee. So moving forward, then we have Taguchi methods, design of experiment. As yesterday someone asked about how the Taguchi method is helpful, and the Taguchi method is, you can see that Taguchi loss function. So they are very helpful in our experimental work, and we all, I think, use these. So if you see that there should be some no loss, or if you can say that no loss means there should be a target where no loss is there, and one side we have loss occur, and so our target should be reached to this middle point. So that is how we need to low specification limit, and we need to set our upper specification limit. Our target is to reduce the variation, so means no loss or the zero defect. So this philosophy also contribute towards the Deming philosophy. As well as if we move towards the next, that diagram. So generally we people make, and if you see my paper, in I think in all of the research paper I have used this cause and effect diagram. It is very helpful. We sometimes we call it Ishikawa diagram, sometimes we call it fishbone diagram. And then the 7 basic tools of quality is given by the Ishikawa, and the quality circle. As we all know, that a small volunteer group of people in the employee who get together to do their Kaizen project, and then to do improvement. Then quality must be company wide. It should not be restricted to one shop or one process. It should be company wide. So these are the philosophy given by the Ishikawa. So next we have our ISO, then degree to which the set of inherent characteristics fulfill requirements. So, and then the 6 sigma, number of defects per million opportunities. Then so these all we can say philosophy or the lines given by the quality gurus. They have been very helpful in setting goal, in identifying the problem, and then convincing employee to adjust themselves with respect to market, so that company can achieve the required goal. So these are all we can say our quality groups. We should not forget their contribution if we are discussing about improvement in organization and in any culture. So here we can say how the lean emerged, and what is the difference between the lean thinking as well as the mass production and craft. So how the philosophy developed, I would like to discuss, so that if we discuss the background, then we could able to understand how we can implement lean in Indian culture. So the focus, first one of all, if we see the in craft, the operation, if we see that the single item was made by the single person, okay, so they were proud of their work, okay. And in case of the mass production, we used to manufacture in batch. And whereas in case of lean thinking, we want to we can say synchronize everything with the flow. We want to make a flow in the production. And then the overall aim of the craftsman is the mastery of the craft, because the master who would able to produce the good work would get appreciation. In case of the mass production, cost reduction was our main aim and to improve the efficiency. Whereas in case of lean, the main point is elimination of waste. So the word elimination of waste, I am going to use this word again and again in this PPT. So in my lecture, elimination of waste and add value. So this is the core value of, or we can say the core concept of lean. Lean is relevant to elimination of waste and improve or add value to the product or process. Then the quality, we as the integration or the craft, once the quality is given by the skill of that particular people. And but in case of mass production, we check the quality with the help of inspection. Okay, and then in case of lean thinking, building by design and method, means we want to design our process in such a way that we need not to we can say inspect our product again and again, because our design is so strong that and our method are so foolproof that uh, uh, we do not want to inspect it again and again, but if there is an improvement, we are ready to make the improvement. Then business strategy, in first case it was customization, second case economy of scale, and in case of lean, we are discussing about flexibility and adaptability. So you see the difference in philosophy, that how from mass production to lean production we are moving towards the flexibility and adaptability. Then improvement, like the master driven continuous improvement, and in case of then the expert driven, and in case of lean, then the worker driven. So continuous improvement, here we are giving importance to worker. So this is the difference between the lean thinking as well as the mass production and craft. I hope you would able to get a little more about lean, how lean thinking should follow. So if we know about lean, then only we could able to improve it. So lean thinking is a process where we focus on the customer and we try to eliminate waste based upon the suggestion provided by the worker who really work on the problem, or the lower layer worker. So customer values go up in case of lean, and it is our ultimate purpose and approach that seek to maximize the value of the customer by reducing the waste. So I think all of us, we have seen that iceberg diagram, that we cannot see the waste if we see from the top, but the bottom there is uh, so many waste in the process, waste in the movement, so waste in the, we can say, uh, uh, when we issue the tool, and waste in the communication. So waste, so it is important, if we are discussing about production, it is important to discuss about waste also. So what are the different types of waste, and what is the motive of lean manufacturing? We would able to understand this. So here you can see that the goal is to see the waste just like we see it first time. So everyone, I would like to emphasize on this point, that we need to see the waste just like we see it first time. So if we can say come across some waste or some whatever is being waste again and again, we become habitual of that thing. But if we try to see it in the perspective that the waste doesn't exist, so if we could able to identify the waste, so the important point is identification of waste is very important. What is waste? First, the definition is important. Like if something is going on, if it is waste, if you could not able to identify that this is a waste, then we cannot take any action on it. So the first point is to see the waste as it is a waste only. Sometimes we ignore it. Okay, many times we see that something is piling up, something is, we know that it is going to contribute in waste. Initially we may recognize, but we do not take action. We think that it automatically it will be over. So the first and most important principle in lean is to see waste as it is a waste. So the next one is only ground lean is rule for the lean is like lean is simple. We need not to we are not here thinking about like drastical changes in our process or in our way of in our culture, in our organization. Lean is just thinking, and lean is just we can say simple. So someone has raised the hand, can I ask? Okay, I will come back in the meantime. Let during the question answer session, I will discuss with them, so that I so that this lean is simple. I was discussing about. And the simple definition of lean is learning to see the waste. So that's it. As I'm emphasizing about, lean is to just see the waste as it is the waste. The moment we start looking the waste as a waste, everything come after that. Like maybe we want to plot that waste, how much amount of waste is there, how much we should, how we can reduce this weight, what kind of technology we are going to use. But the first point is to see waste as it is a waste only. So this is about lean. So generally we have 7 or 8 types of waste in lean. So generally we can say the waste because of the motion waste, as well as the over processing, over transport, inventory waste, and waiting time waste, defect and scrap, and overproduction. So these are the waste which generally we categorize waste based upon the lean thinking in this type of we can say lean manufacturing. So if we are discussing about manufacturing industry, then we can categorize all our waste in these 7 category. And new waste is the skill waste also. I would like to add that in these 7, that is the skill waste. So we should also calculate that. So these are the basic type of waste, and it may change with respect to the organizational type. Like maybe if we are discussing about healthcare industry, then the waste maybe we can add more waste, like the type of we can say inventory is different, the type of motion is different in case of hospital industry. So accordingly we need to change the definition of these waste. So let us move some pictures which shows these philosophy, and we will be more clear about that. So the team would generally be classify and the transport waste, inventory waste, movement waste, waiting waste, and overproduction, overprocessing, and defects. So we need to we can categorize all these waste into these categories, and we can remember the name of these waste as team would framework for the waste. So our purpose is to reduce the waste. So how we can reduce the waste? By first we should try to reduce it, then we should try to reuse. If we cannot reduce it, then try to reuse the waste. And if we after the reusing, then try to recover by recycling the material, and then dispose. So finally whatever we can say whatever we recovered, after that whatever remain, we should go for disposal. Otherwise before that we should try to reduce the waste, we should try to reuse the waste, we should try to recover. So this is how lean can contribute into sustainability. If we improve the our first process, means reduction in the waste, definitely we are contributing into our existing resources. We are going to, we can say, save the resource for our future generation. Then reuse means the reuse of our existing material as well as technology. We should not go for we can say we should not try to all the time we should not try to use new material. So try to use, if we can use the reuse or the second hand material, if we can use, then recover. Okay, so these are the philosophy. Then we should try to reduce. Then the process of just in time, we all know that nowadays just in time is very helpful in industry, and means we should get the order when we should start our production. First we get the order, then we order the material, and then we could able to produce. So that this means just in time a concept is very we can say highly applicable in nowadays in manufacturing industry. So from here I think you get some idea about lean. Lean is simple. Lean is to the way to reduce the waste. By just in time we reduce the waste of, we can say, waiting waste or the inventory waste. We need not to store inventory in case of just in time, we all know that. Now I would like to put some emphasis on Kaizen. What Kaizen is and how it is different from lean, although mostly we understand that these are same thing, because their ultimate objective is same. Their ultimate objective is continuous improvement, whereas the lean try to improve by reducing waste, and Kaizen try to improve the process by taking incremental step towards we can say towards excellence, towards our next step. All the time when we apply Kaizen, we try to move our system towards the best. So that is why the definition of Kaizen says Kai means change, and Zen stand for the to improve. Kaizen means change for improvement. So the exact definition of Kaizen is change for improvement. So that change can be implemented to improve a process, that change can be implemented to improve the existing culture in the organization, that change can be implemented to improve the human resource ability in the organization. So whatever is there, we want to improve and we want to change, and the change should be for improvement. So uh, uh, the Japanese author, this Imai, he started like the concept of Kaizen, and he gave the definition of Kaizen. So it is not limited to, we can say, only workplace. As per the Japanese philosophy, Kaizen is a culture, and Kaizen is applicable to one family life, social life, work life, everywhere. So the inventor, or we can say the person who gave the definition of Kaizen, they implement the Kaizen into the Japanese culture. So even in even in some books it is given that Kaizen, you can understand like yourself as a tree, and you are yourself as a tree, and then you attitude and the way you think is your we can say the output of that tree. And by continuously improving to yourself means you water, when you water that tree, means you are improving yourself, you are investing in yourself. So Kaizen is a philosophy that is applicable to everyone and everywhere. So it doesn't change for the top manager, it doesn't change for the lower manager or the shop floor worker, and it doesn't we can say it also involved in personal life as well as social life everywhere. So Kaizen is a, we can say, philosophy or change for the improvement, and it is an incremental change. Okay, so moving forward, the continuous improvement. So we will see some diagram. You see that this is the Kaizen philosophy, means moving upwards, step by step movement, or you can say the continuous improvement. So our objective, and whereas you can see the difference between innovation and the Kaizen. In case of Kaizen, we have small step and we are moving towards our objective, whereas innovation brings drastical change. So few industries are capable of doing innovation, they can go with innovation and they can achieve their goal, whereas others prefer Kaizen. So Kaizen is less costly, Kaizen is, we can say, we need not to change much. And when we come to the sustainability, when we see the sustainable point of view, we need to change, we need to do little adjustment, and so that we can maintain our status quo, at the same time we move towards the our objective. So for the sustainability, we should prefer our Kaizen approach. So moving towards the next. So what next Kaizen says, you see, generally in our life we are too busy that we ignore we can say we ignore that we need some improvement, and we are doing too much work on that particular, if we do, and even we do not think that it is hard for us and we can improve it. So uh, Kaizen says that we should listen, and then we should implement if it is worthful for us. So Kaizen is a philosophy which try to help in the existing system by incremental step. You can see that sometimes we have too busy in our routine work that we ignore our progress. So moving next, Kaizen also emphasizes to the planning. Like we think we should discuss what is our end result, and what we are expecting from our result. So sometimes if we start work without planning, then we blame each other, so it should not be there. So this is the Kaizen philosophy. And moving forward, next, Kaizen is a teamwork effort. Okay, so everyone is equal, as I said, everyone is equal in Kaizen, and it is a teamwork, and everyone believe that all employees are there, all supervisor, top manager, middle manager are there to help you, not to stop you. Okay, so this is about the Kaizen. Then there are few projects and case studies done on Kaizen. I would like to show you, like before Kaizen and after Kaizen, what was the impact. You can see that before Kaizen it was totally mess, and after Kaizen it is neat and clean. So this is how we can improve our workplace with the help of Kaizen. So Kaizen help in our daily life. Kaizen help in our social life as well as work life. So this is just a small change, and it can result in, like you can see the difference in office before Kaizen as well as after Kaizen. So small change, but it looks nice, and it can improve the efficiency. It can contribute to the sustainability because it is improving efficiency. Moving forward, you can see that next, if something happens, a small change can, you can say, can act as a big reward. Okay, if everything is in place, everything is in on its location, then we can implement it, we can find it on time, and then we can use that. So if it is everything is in mess, when it required for the, for example, in case of emergency, we would not able to find that particular instrument, so it can cause a big accident. So Kaizen help to sustain in industry as well as in, you can say, personal life. So what next? Uh, yeah, you can see a small Kaizen application here. You can see that generally when we have more than one air conditioner in a office, so sometimes we don't even know that which one is on switch on and which one is switch off. So to know that, sometimes we just keep it like switch on and we left the office. So for that, what they did, they just stick some small paper. So with the help of that, they can able to identify that which one is moving, means it is switch on. So it is nothing but a small change, but it contribute to the efficiency of the workplace, and it reduce the waste also. So you can see that both Kaizen as well as Lean, both contribute to the improvement, but the way the Kaizen work is improvement with incremental step, the way the Lean work to reduce the waste. So and the next is, you can see that again, you can see the small this is just a small incremental, you can say, project. Here you can see that we have this round wall. So here, if we are leaving our office or we are leaving our workplace, from distance we cannot identify whether it is open or closed, but if we have this kind of handle, we can easily understand that it is now, it is switch on. If you want to switch off, then you should switch off it, so it is clearly visible. So this is just a, we can say, idea that is being implemented in particular industry, and then they come up with good results. And if they circulate this result, employee get motivated, and then they can contribute more in the organization. So this is how the Kaizen works. So this is the difference between the Kaizen as well as the Lean thinking. So I hope now it is clear to everyone that what is Kaizen, what is Lean. In our coming lectures, our expert will explain about Six Sigma also. So, and how the Six Sigma is project-based, we can say, activity, where we take some project in hand and then we try to come up with improvements and some objective. Whereas Kaizen is just small projects and small improvement in on daily basis. Okay, so let us move forward, and we discuss some case studies on Kaizens and how this Kaizen work. In the case study, we will be discussing about 5S. Okay, so before that only, let me discuss about what is. There are three main, we can say, there are three main input to the Kaizen. First one is the 3M, where we will discuss in the case study what is 3M. Then 5S, we all know that 5S, and then the plan, do, check, and act. So based upon these three tools, people are improving their workplace, and they are contributing into sustainable workforce or sustainable human resource management. So we will discuss in our case study. So before that, at least we should go through what is 5S. The first S stand for the remove what is not needed. So whatever is not needed, we should remove. And next, set in order. Okay, everything should be in order, so it should not in mess. So whenever we want, it should be easily available. Then sign, everything should be neat and clean. Then standardize your operation and at workplace. Then sustain. The most important and most difficult part is sustain, because you can see in 5S, the last word is sustain. It contributes to the sustainability. If you see that how this can contribute. This sorting, setting in order, signing, first of all it contribute in saving your time. So if everything is if everything is in order, and if the thing that is not in that we don't need is not there, that means we need not to search for more time, and everything is in we can say order. In Japan, these kind of we can say in Japan I have seen many videos like how they trained their students in 5S. Okay, so they just distribute some unassembled component, maybe some pen, maybe some pencil, maybe some nut and bolts which have different diameters. Okay, and maybe for example we have some nuts, some bolts, and some other part which meant to be assembled with each other. Okay, they just give in a bucket. Okay, these are the part, and I need the final component that is in assemble. So in the first case, because everything is in mess, we don't know which nut is goes to which bolt, and which particular we can say hook will go to which particular hook. So they don't know about that. So it is in complete mess. So in first case they may take half an hour, they may take 1 hour, because they don't know the size of nut, they don't know, they need to try everything. But in second case, what they did, they apply this 5S technique. So in according to 5S technique, they segregate their nut and bolt based upon their diameter. Okay, this is the diameter, this is this, and after that everything means they pack, they put their sign that if you want to dispose, then dispose based upon their in respect to their diameter, means in respect to their assembly. So there should be some, either they tie it with some rope, or either they put them some ring or whatever they should be, but in one pack at one place. So in the second chance, what they did, they arrange them, then they arrange them properly, and then they make the inventory clean, and then they standardize what should be put where, and at last they means they circulate the message that it should be like that to sustain it. So once again they ask student to assemble those products. So in second time when they assemble, they could able to assemble it within 10 minutes. So first time it took maybe more than it took 30 minutes or 35 minutes, but in second time when everything was in order, it took only 10 minutes. So these kind of practical example could can lead towards the sustainability, and towards the we can say can lead towards the excellence. So moving towards few case studies were done to find out that which student perform good, and what are the factors which can contribute towards the performance of a students. So the study, we can say the cost was $5 million, and it took for 5 years. So what was the conclusion? You will be, we can say, amused to see that these are the conclusion. We know that this is important, but still we don't emphasize our student, and the student don't understand the importance of these 2 points only. So the first point is sorry, the first point is you need to improve your attendance. Means they got that the student who have better attendance, they performed well compared to others. So first of all, improve the employee attendance. The employee should come to the organization, they should feel that this is their work, and they want to do that work. So for that, whatever philosophy, whatever training organization should take, they should take. And what are the second conclusion? Second conclusion was that if you are in school, for example, or if you are in, then sit in the front bench and just study. Okay, you need to focus what is going on. That's the conclusion only. Only two parts, or we can say the two factors which came with we can say the which affects the performance of student was attendance, who is coming in the school regularly, and second, who is sitting where, and how interactive he is. The first, the people, the student who used to sit on front bench got higher point compared to the others. So this was the result of study. So we all know that these are important, but still we don't follow these, and we can say ignore in our general life. So Kaizen and the lean philosophy is simple: do regularly and continually improvement. So move towards another case study, which is the employee sustainable development using Kaizen. So this is the research paper which generally which recently we considered in we can say from sustainable point of view. So the ultimate aim of the study was to describe the pattern of employee sustainable development using Kaizen. So we know that, as I discussed, that nowadays competition is very high, and to adjust in the competition, industry need to change their way they are working. Either they need to, you can say, adopt new technology, either they need to adopt new philosophy, new way of doing the things which they are already doing. So they need to change with respect to competition. So if they need to change, what exactly they need to change? If you ask, that means the human resource management is the one of the, we can say, prime wheel that change the organization. Okay, so this is the core of organization. Only human, if you, first of all, the human should change. Either they should change with respect to their philosophy, how they see the change is also very important. And I think if you go through the relevant literature, you will find these lines that the first and the most important wheel is the human, and even the most difficult is also the human. So if once the employee feel that the change is not for their good, the change is not for their good, then you can say there is, you can say, more than 80% on chance that the project is going to fail. So recently we have been studying about the implementation of digitization in industry to improve the supply chain management. So if we see the barrier, so the biggest barrier is the adaptation of employee. Because when we see about, when we talk about automation, when we talk about the robotics, when we talk about digitization, employee feel that ultimately technology will replace them, and there will be no job and their importance will get down. And this is means because employee feel that their value will go down if technology get implemented. So this is the biggest challenge faced by organization. And for that they need to provide training, and even the specialists are not available who can convince them. Apart from that, the another challenge that industry faced was, they are in, if they want to implement digitization, if they want to implement new technology, then they need to train their employee. But employee feel that whatever their performance is there, this is because of their past behavior, past performance. So they are there because of their past performance, that they feel that there is no need to improve. So means once again employee become reluctant to change. So if they want to, if the industry want to sustain themselves, they need to change according to the competition. And according to competition, they may need to apply new technology, they need to apply new methods. But for that, who will implement the method? Human only. So if human are reluctant, if the employees are reluctant, then they cannot do it. So this particular case study, they applied Kaizen in the case study, and they tried to improve their human development with the help of Kaizen philosophy only. So I think you understand that why the industry need to change themselves, and what are the biggest challenge. So apart from investment, technology, and everything, the human reluctance or the employee reluctance is the biggest challenge, as per the recent literature, if you see and check. So the case study they did qualitative approach, and they use that sustainable development, that they follow the Kaizen project, and they feel that Kaizen, and they implement this process, and they describe that Kaizen is a process oriented system, and it should be implement, and the small suggestion should be implement, and the employee as a small improvement. So first of all, the word this Kaizen is a process oriented. So I would like to say that if we suppose, if we have if we consider that there is 100% defect in particular component, so Kaizen says that you need to improve your process. You need not to focus much on your employee. First of all, your first philosophy or your first step should be towards the improvement of process. You need to check whether your process is foolproof, whether you can change something in process so that the defect rate decrease. Okay, so ultimately there are we can say Kaizen project says that ultimately there will be 90% chance that you need to improve in your process instead of your human are well, you can say human can work, and they want to work. If you improve your process, you can improve the working of human also. You can improve the performance of your employee if you focus on your process. So Kaizen says first focus on your process, try to improve the process, make your process in such a way that it don't give defective product. Okay, the first philosophy is the process. Then consistency and sustainability is very important. Consistency in improvement, and try to sustain the improvement with the help of training as well as with the help of reward to your employee. And as I told that three main we can say component that is being used when we are applying the Kaizen: 3M, then this S, sorry, 5S, this is misprinted, so this is 5S, and plan, do, check and act. Okay, so employee sustainability, when we want to deal with the, we can say, global competition, sustainability of employee is very important. And if we want to improve, we can follow our Kaizen project. So the dynamism of the competition, as I have been discussing that in a competition, that business environment is changing because of competition, and industry want to improve, and for that improvement they need to make change in their organization. And the first change and the most important change is change in the human resource, so that they can work effectively and efficiently according to the target which the organization, whatever target organization set for. So the first how what changes we are discussing here, this is important from research point of view. Though I am saying that we need to change in human, so what we need to change? We need to change the knowledge, the direction, like how we are directing our employee and what knowledge they are required for that, the way we convey them, that how that we need to improve, that is very important. Apart from that, the duty and the job responsibility, how clearly and how we can say without any prejudicially we convey our employee that this is your responsibility, is very important. So in order to improve, in order to make change in human behavior, their knowledge, their role, duties and responsibility are very important. So being an Kaizen person, or the work study man, or we can say the leader, organization should focus on these three aspects, that is the knowledge, their duty and job responsibility, who will do what work and what should be their team. Okay, and apart from that, the employee skill can be improved by providing appropriate training. We know that if we get to know that our organization, our humans are facing we can say a problem because of the we can say because of the knowledge, then we should provide the training. So Kaizen suggests what kind of training we need to provide in order to be sustained, in order to continuous improvement. So sometime in I think in recent literature you will find that sustainability word is relevant to the continuous improvement. If you continuously improve, then you can be, you would be a sustainable, and for continuous improvement you need you should adopt Kaizen. So this is how we can correlate our Kaizen with sustainability. So once that training is synchronized with our standard achievement, then we can improve the knowledge, we can improve the skill as well as attitude of our workers. So we need, if we need to adjust in our, we can say process, we need to adjust in our duties of the employee, we can do it if it is towards the target of our organization, or if it help in meeting the goal. So this is how we Kaizen can help. Then as I told that Kaizen philosophy is relevant to the human life, and whether it is a personal life, social life, uh, or the work life. So we Kaizen emphasize that organizations should focus towards the overall development of their employee, not only just for the work performance, but overall development. So the overall development means their work life and their social life and their family life. So sometimes the changes which required an organization is very easy, they can easily adapt, and sometimes it takes time. So they need to understand that how difficult the task is, and what are the phases that their employees are going to face if they want to uh, change the, if they want to follow that change. Okay, so that it should be clear, and this is the organization responsibility, that they should make their changes clear to their employee. So the means as I told that the employee development is not just like a machine. We cannot make some adjustment and okay, if we need this one and we can make some adjustment in human and it will be okay. No, in case of human, it takes time and we cannot. There are some rules, regulations, and we know that there are some pattern we need to follow. So what are those pattern? How we make some changes? That is what we'll discuss in few slides. So that is very important. So I think now it is clear to you that change in human is very difficult and very challenging for organization. It is, we cannot compare the change in human as with the change in, we can say, the machine. Even in some organization they're trying to nowadays we know that this digitalization is coming into picture, and they have implemented this digital platform. They want that every employee should put their what they have done today, what are their ways so of doing. So they try to match the human with machine. So it is not possible if you don't understand the way we like a machine, that someone will do some fine tuning and it would be changed. No, it is not like that. So here we use that 3M, 5S, and plan, do, check, and act. So what is this 5S stand for? Sorry, 3M stand for. It stand for, first M is muda, means which means that reduction of waste. So whatever waste is there, so we have already discussed in case of lean, we have 7-8 types of waste: transport waste, motion waste, overproduction and overproduction and over processing, waiting waste, as well as skill waste. So these kind of waste should not be there. Try to reduce those waste. So the first point in Kaizen is 3M, and in 3M first one is the muda. So try to eliminate the waste. Then uh, uh, try to reduce the differences in our target. Whatever our target value is there, try to reduce the deviation in our component, component from one component to other component. Whether you need, if you want to train your employee for good, then you should train your employee. If you want to bring some new machine, then bring some new machine, but the ultimate aim is to reduce the difference in our component or the dimension which we are producing. Then last one is to reduce the tension. The tension in the organization can be the differences between your supervisor and the employee. Okay, if you want to sustain your employee, they should free from the tension. If they feel tension in implementing new project, if they feel tension in implementing, or we can say suggesting new project to your organization, they cannot work. So the third M says that reduce the tension. If there is any difference in supervisor, try to try to organize some program which reduce the differences among your people: lower manager, top manager, middle manager, and your shop floor worker. So Kaizen says everyone is important and all are equal in organization. And lean says that it is a lean, and Kaizen both says that it is a organization wide improvement, not only in the one shop floor. And Kaizen also include the personal and social life. So tension, we all know that it play a role everywhere. So reduce the tension whatever you can, whether you need to introduce new platform where they can discuss, where they can convey their idea. So the third is muda, mura, as well as muri. So these are the Japanese philosophy. And so the muda says reduce the waste, muri overburden, as well as mura says unevenness in process or unevenness in your we can say the dimension. So first of all, the organization should able to realize what are the good condition. What means good condition? What are their objective? First of all, they need to realize their objective, and after that they should apply the 5S. And we have already seen what 5S stand for. So 5S, once we realize that this is our best, this is our best which we want in our organization, then we can go for the 5S. We can start that what is we can start with series, means sorting out what is not required. First of all, just eliminate that. After that, set in order. If whatever required is there, then set in order which we want, and after that what we want. After that, sign everything should be clean and clear. Then sustain then standardize. Right, in now forward, this will be followed in our organization, and then sustain. So if we want to improve in human development, So the meaning of all these words change. Okay, so we are not segregating human here. We try to segregate, we try to identify what is mess inside your organization, whether it is the relationship between your employee, whether some group is there which who is we can say making your employee reluctant to the new technology, if someone is against your philosophy. So we need to identify that, then we need to segregate that. Okay, we have these kind of philosophy in our organization, then try to sit in the table and then discuss how we can say polish. Okay, what are the final we can say conclusion, that how we can improve our organizational human development, and then finally standardize. Okay, now we are going to use this, and then sustain that for betterment of your company. And still if organization feel that still our standard are not as per our requirement, competition is more in industry, we need to change again, then once again revise. So this is what says plan, do, check and act. So this is where our next component, plan, do, check and act applies. Okay, so here is everything I have discussed, that cleaning up of the mess with your supervisor or whatever the top leader if it requires. So moving forward, the next is the plan, do, check and act again and again. Try to improve your performance and try to improve your human behavior and human development inside the organization by using the plan, do, check and act again and again. So I have discussed all these things, so no need to revise again. So moving forward, I would like to discuss one more we can say I have discussed all these things, that try to clearly discuss the duty and then try to maintain that chart. So another case study I would like to discuss here. Okay, another point thing I would like to emphasize is the improvement and the development in the strategy when we apply the Kaizen can be look like the two things, like the big step as well as the gradual changes. So big step may be that some change, if we require change in some policy, some change in the responsibility that management can do. So these can be the big you can say improvement. Small step like everyday activity, how we improve. So these are the two things that we should look after when we are seeing the performance of our Kaizen project. So all we know that we should not forget the Toyota production system, who started the Kaizen system, and how they started. They feel that the Toyota recognized initially that supervisors are not always aware about their obstacles. So they feel that only the person who are involved in the work is the person who can suggest some improvement at the shop floor. So they give importance to the lower management, or we can say the people who are working at the shop floor, and they start asking their employee on regular basis, and they start giving a reward for ideas. If they some ideas are there which are being implemented, and they feel that okay, this idea should be implemented, and after implementing they give reward to their employee. This is how this Kaizen system started. And after that Toyota system, we can say hundreds, thousands of small steps. Please mute yourself if you are busy in some other activity. So the next point is that how they means small step, with the help of small step they could able to make a big change in their organization. So the Kaizen says work smart, not work hard. So this is how the Toyota understood the Kaizen, and there is no need of increasing the time and labor, but whatever you do, try to produce decent quality in large quantity and with existing worker, machinery and time constraint only. So another we can say company Canon, this is another case study. We can say they started a week, like 100 project year for the Kaizen. Like in week they started that Kaizen 100 Kaizen project, means this is a project that they ask their supervisor to set, we can say, or the supervisor or every employee should give at least 100 idea that can be converted into the improvement project. Okay, and then what they did, they set a time, like from 11:30 to 12:30 there will be a Kaizen time. So everyone will discuss about their improvement. Okay, they may set the tea time. Okay, in India, as we all know that we have the tradition of having tea in industry also. If you see Maruti and in big industry, they have this culture, means after 2 hours or 3 hours they have morning tea and evening tea as well. So maybe that during the tea hour we can schedule that, okay, this hour is for Kaizen time, where they want to discuss. There will be no supervisor in this time, no supervision is done. So this is the tea time, or this can be considered as a Kaizen time, and they need to give 100, even including supervisor, top manager, lower manager, everyone need to give 100 suggestions. So out of 100 means this was the project. So out of 100, maybe 2, 3, 5, whatever they selected, and they converted into final project. So this can be then another approach of improvement, means setting some target of Kaizen, because Kaizen says very small increment at a time, everyone can do. So this was done in another company. So why Kaizen fail? I would like to
duplicate ஏமாத்துறதும் இருக்கு அதுதானே.
yeah, why Kaizen fail? Kaizen fail, as I told you, that for to be successful, Kaizen we need to clearly distribute their responsibility. We need to clearly we can say we need to have the good relationship with every stakeholder, whether it is supplier, whether it is worker, or whether it is we can say lower. So if there is no harmony, if there is no we can say if there is some lack in this, then it is going to be a you can say failure. So first of all, they need to understand that it is there is no problem in this particular area, and after that, whether the identification of these all inputs to the Kaizen, that 3M, 5S, and plan to check and act, it is also very important. And sometimes if we are not able to we can say describe the job properly, if we are not able to provide the importance to our stakeholder, or our there is a difference in the top management and the staff level employee, then Kaizen is going to fail. So these are the few we can say literature insights that how the Kaizen is fail. If we are not able to provide the duty, okay, if we are not able to divide the duty properly, then it is going to fail. So generally, what kind of research people do in this area, like either empirical research and experimental based, means if some material is involved in that, then experimental based, then case study. So I have done around 5 to 6 case study, and I have applied Kaizen in industry, and I have come up with you can say fruitful results. So in case of empirical analysis, I have done around 5 to 6 paper on empirical analysis. So like this generally I followed this research approach, like in case of empirical investigation, sample size determination, data collection. So around maybe 25 total research papers are there, which I have published in this area in good journals. So all either I have used this empirical investigation or case studies. So we can say 50-50. So I prefer both, because case study give more knowledge and it allow us to learn more about the particular process, whereas these empirical studies, they give overall picture what is going on in industry and what factor we should follow. So questionnaire design, questionnaire testing, then sample testing, reliability and validity test, then descriptive statistic using SPSS or Minitab, and then last one is structure equation modeling. So this kind of model you could able to see in my research paper also. So you can see the SF2. So these are the factors, and after that these are the latent variable, and then other factors which contribute as a latent variable, which cannot be measured directly from the, you can say, based upon some they cannot measure directly, but to measure them we need some items. So all these are some items. So based on these items, first we measure the latent variable, then we identify the relationship between these. So previously people used to have this only statistical process control, we can say this with the help of SPSS. Nowadays people are using AMOS. So if we have time, we can schedule and maybe one lecture on AMOS, how to use that software for identification, and to conclude what are the important factor, what are the important barrier in this area. So this is how we can work. So this is all about me, that what I know about Kaizen and what I know about Lean, and what kind of research generally people do in this kind of this field. Apart from that, like as yesterday Dr. Gupta explained, multi-criteria decision making, that is also very good, and that can also be applied. So in one, I think in 2021, in 2 or 3, I have applied decision making multi-criteria decision making as well. It is based upon the availability of data, what kind of data you have, and what is the scope of your work, as well as from where you are taking your data, number of availability of expert also. So thank you from my side. If you have any question, then we can discuss, and if I could able to come up with the answer now, it's okay. Otherwise, I will discuss and I will see that how we can tackle all these queries. Can you please, if there is any doubt, you can ask me right now. You can raise your hand. Okay. Code maybe. So dear participant, this was all about lean as well as Kaizen. So if you have any doubt, you can ask, you can raise your hand, you can text in the textbook also, text box also. So what software is used for the structure equation modeling? I have AMOS. If I would like to open this interface, I think you would be able to understand it. Let me open the software. It may take some time. IBM AMOS is there, and I have seen that AMOS is very good for visualization, and people understand very well what kind of, you can say, what kind of analysis is going on, and how, what are the variables. So I have, let me share the screen if I could show you. Yeah, this is, if you can see, this is okay. Can you see that? Share. Okay, let me share this again. Can you see this or not? That continuous improvement measurement model statistical, let some software, this AMOS is there. Yeah, so I think you can see. So here this is actually measurement model before the final final model. So if you see, let me, this is the final model as I have showed you. This is actually not just final, we can say before that finalization of model, and this is the final model which you have seen. And if I apply the software, then this kind of value will come. So it takes time to understand the interpretation of these, and also like what all these values it says. I think maybe you are aware of all about this. So if you are aware, well and good. Otherwise, it is very easy to understand. There are some videos available on YouTube, and standardized estimation and standardized estimation, everything is available over there. So this you can find if you understand, if you want to understand more about this model. You can search the total quality management and business excellence. The 2020 the paper came in, total quality management and business excellence, published by me, so, and with my supervisor. So if you want to understand more about what all those variables are, you can go there, you can you can study that paper. Apart from that, recently I have been working on Kaizen only, Kaizen impact of Kaizen failure, and I have been studying about the supervisor behavior in that. So that model is also finished and is you can say ready to publish. So dear, whatever I know about these technologies and the Kaizen lean as well as the software, I have shared. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, and if we have time, then we will have small session how to use AMOS. Otherwise, we have experts which are directly relevant to like circular
Yes, sir.
economy and all
Yes,
that.
sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. It is a open source software or
Actually, yeah, actually, I bring one of my friend gave to me. So
okay.
at that time it was like open, and actually around 5 years back I start using this software, and after that
Okay.
it is there in my laptop only. So
Okay.
but it takes time like to understand. Sometime what
Okay.
happen, like the data rectification, how to clarify your data, means outlier, how to remove the outlier from your study, that is very important. So initially we feel that only understanding of software is important, but I believe that understanding of data and to how you can clear your data is very important. First of all, focus on data. It should be well organized, no missing value is there, and then you should apply. If the data, first try to calculate the value in SPSS. Whatever the value SPSS give, soft MOS will also give.
Oh, it is very similar to SPSS, is it?
Yeah, actually the basic file which we enter into MOS is the SPSS file.
Okay, okay.
But the advantage is it shows everything through the picture, that what factor make what impact on what.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
If time
welcome.
permits, you can throw some hands-on on this software.
Yeah, I will try, sir. If one session is available, then I will try, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Once again, I would like to announce that the next session is from 1:30. So the interface will open on you can say around 1:25 or 1:20. So then everyone please enter for that. So the expert is from other central university. So she will take and she will discuss about the role of technology in circular economy, and she will take example of food industry. So that will be, that is going to be a very interactive and good session. So please everyone be on time and attend. So thank you everyone. And attendance, I think someone is asking for attendance link. We have already sir has already shared. Yeah, once again sir has shared the link. So those who miss the attendance, they please fill your attendance, and please keep providing some feedback. You can mail me, you can WhatsApp me. We are you can say all we are learning here, and if you have some case study, if you want to discuss something, you please post me a mail and message. I will find some time to discuss, and you can discuss your outcomes over there. Yeah, okay everyone, with these words I would like to conclude this session. Yeah, thank you. We'll see on 1:20 now. Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone. I'm getting comments, and I'm very happy that you all like this session. Thank you everyone.